All right, let's talk about Bitcoin wallets. It's a topic that has this one crucial secret that most people miss. Not all wallets are created equal. Seriously, the choice you make isn't just about what looks cool. It's about control, it's about security, and it's about who truly owns your money. So let's dive in.
So, you think a Bitcoin wallet is just a wallet, right? A place to hold your crypto, and that they're all pretty much the same thing? That's a really common way to think about it, but the reality is way more interesting. And it has these huge implications for your security, your freedom, and ultimately, your control over your own funds.
So, the first way we can really break down the differences between wallets is by looking at how they connect to the Bitcoin network itself. Now, this might sound like a super technical detail, but trust me, it's not. It fundamentally changes how your wallet gets its information and how much you have to trust other people. To really get this, you have to remember what Bitcoin is at its core. It's a peer-to-peer network. Just think of it like a giant community meeting where absolutely everyone has their own copy of the official notes. Some wallets act as full peers in this meeting. They keep their own complete record of everything. But others, they're just clients. They have to turn to one of the peers and ask, hey, what's going on? And right here, you can see the trade-off. A full node, that's a true peer. It gives you complete autonomy because it validates the entire history of Bitcoin transactions all by itself. But what's the catch? Well, it takes a ton of computer resources. I mean, think of it like streaming a high-def video 24/7. On the other hand, a lightweight client is way easier on your device. It connects to a full node to get information, but it still does some of its own validation. It really tries to strike a balance between convenience and security. And then, well, there's a third type, the third-party API client. This kind of wallet, it doesn't connect to the Bitcoin network directly at all. Nope. Instead, it connects to some company's server, and that server is what tells it everything. With this setup, you are placing all your trust in that third party to feed you accurate information. It's kind of the most similar to a traditional bank, right? Where you just trust them to manage your account and tell you your balance. Okay, so that's how wallets see the network. But there's an even more important question we have to ask, and this gets to the very heart of what makes Bitcoin so different. It's all about control. Who actually holds the keys to your Bitcoin? To answer that, we got to talk about private keys. Now, these are not like your car keys. A private key is the secret code, the magic password that gives you the power to actually spend your Bitcoins. A great way to think about them is like a very, very long and incredibly powerful PIN number. Whoever has this PIN has the Bitcoin, period. And this brings us to what is, without a doubt, the most critical distinction in the entire Bitcoin space. It's black and white, it's absolute. If you are the only one who holds those private keys, you are in complete control of your Bitcoins. If you don't hold them, then someone else does. There is no in between. This whole idea leads to a phrase that's become a mantra in the Bitcoin community, and for a very good reason. Your keys, your coins. Not your keys, not your coins. It's really the simple, powerful truth of what it means to actually own your assets.
So now we've got our two big ideas, right? First, how a wallet connects to the network, and second, who controls the keys. So let's put them together and see how they define the actual types of wallets you might be using out there in the real world.
And this table just lays out the whole landscape perfectly. A desktop full node, that's the ultimate be-your-own-bank setup. It gives you maximum freedom because you're a full peer and you control your keys. Then you've got a mobile lightweight wallet. This is a super popular compromise. You still control your own keys, which is huge, but you rely on other peers for the network info. And then there are the web-based accounts, which almost always use a third-party API. And in this case, the third party controls the keys for you. So let's just recap the most important takeaways here. First, wallets connect to the network in fundamentally different ways, and that choice directly impacts your level of autonomy. But the most vital question, the one you should always be asking, is this. Who controls the private keys? Because if you don't control them, you aren't really holding Bitcoin. You're just trusting a custodian to hold it on your behalf.
Ultimately, every one of these distinctions, they all boil down to one core trade-off. It's a choice that every single person who uses Bitcoin has to make, whether they realize it or not.
And here is that fundamental choice, laid out side by side. On one hand, you have total control. This is the your keys, your coins world. It means complete autonomy and the freedom that comes with it. But it also means full personal responsibility. On the other hand, you have total convenience. This usually means a really simple user experience, but it comes at the cost of trusting a third party.
And that means not your keys, not your coins.
So, we're going to end with a question for you to think about. Now that you understand the difference, now that you see the choice between controlling your keys and trusting someone else, you have a decision to make. When it comes to your money, what do you value more, total control or total convenience? The answer to that question is going to guide every decision you make in Bitcoin from here on out.